Justice. You're on the air with Representative Pocan.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thinking back to about 42 years ago, starting in 1981 with Ronald Reagan and on forward, thinking about how increasingly mercenary and out in open and brazen the other party has been in thought and action, and knowing how when I hear centrist Democrats, I'm not including you, Mr. Pocan, I'm talking about Pelosi, Schumer, and Biden, and the Clintons, and Barack Obama. When I hear these people talking about how we need to take back the U.S. House, we need to control them, I'm not hearing anything specific. When they say that, they're happy with maybe 2, 3, or 5 majority. To me, that's not enough, given how brazen and unreliable and bad actors.
So, Pearson, what's your question?
Republicans are. So I like your definition of what you consider to be a majority control of the U.S. House.
Yeah, so I think the best way, and hopefully this is answering your question, Pearson, is to look last session, what we passed out of the House, even with only a 5-seat margin, that got to the Senate and because of their obscure rules didn't go anywhere. We passed something to codify Roe versus Wade so that we would have protections for women across the country. We passed the PRO Act to protect workers. We passed a bill to stop gerrymandering and to change our ethics and campaign finance laws to take away power from the special interest. We passed so many bills like that then went to the graveyard known as the Senate because of their obscure rules around the filibuster. So there are really good things that we were able to do with very slight margins. The reason I think perhaps you hear some people talk about having a slight majority is because there is so much gerrymandering across the country, including my state in Wisconsin. I mean, we're a 50-50 state. Everyone knows we're as purple as you can get. And yet we have 2 Democrats out of 8 in the delegation in Congress because of gerrymandering. So those are the part of the reasons why the margins sometimes can't be bigger. But I do think the Republicans, with putting Trump at the top of the ticket, will do a lot of devastation, and we can have the Democratic majority in the House again. I think the Senate is what we're really watching very closely, given the seats that they have up.
Which raises an interesting question. If your new Supreme Court justice leads a decision that gerrymandering is, unconstitutional in Wisconsin, will you have new maps in time for the 2024 election?
Yeah, and we already don't know that, right? Because a case has to come before the court, and the fact that the Republicans are prejudging that and trying to usurp the voters' decision with Janet Protasewicz, that's exactly the problem. So the Democratic Party just announced $4 million to inform voters around the state about what they're up to.
Great, good to know.